Hello everyone, I'm Tofu, and today, as previously mentioned on my home remodelling video, we're going to be designing part of the island around the Able sisters in front of the UFO build that I'd done previously. So, let's jump into it, shall we? So usually I tend to do kind of speed builds for any kind of island design, things like that. However, to be honest, this is kind of the area that we're looking to design here, this little space here, and maybe the front kind of area on the beach. It's not the biggest area, so I thought I'd just kind of try and do it a bit of a chill kind of video, to be honest, today, and I'll just kind of talk through it. Obviously there are rumours of a new Nintendo console being kind of released at some time, I guess next year or maybe early 2025, and a new Nintendo Direct came out recently, so I thought I'd just kind of give my 2 cents regarding that, and yeah, just a few opinions on some of the games that are being released, whilst also designing obviously this area. You may have noticed obviously I've moved the tailors, I had everything kind of prepared, I've got a few kind of trees, bushes and a few items just to kind of go already. But yeah, regarding the rumours as far as a new console, I'm certainly looking forward to a new console being released. Nintendo, obviously, it's been a while since the Switch has been a thing. Well, yeah. And yeah, I think it's kind of got to its limitation as far as the amount of power and obviously the kind of spectacle of the games that you can basically produce on it. So it's about time that they probably did actually release a new console. However, my kind of views on the Nintendo Direct certainly leans towards that being the case, to be honest. A lot of the things they kind of released, there's a lot of remakes, there's a lot of DLCs. It just kind of, to me, certainly screams that a new console is being released at some time soon. So, some of the games that obviously were announced, the first one, or the first main one I guess, was the Super Mario RPG remake. Obviously, we've known that for a little while. I'm still not really kind of sure where the hype for it has come from. Like, don't get me wrong, when I played it as a kid I thought it was a great game. However, unless it's just like a lot of people that happen to know it is a good game, and then have now suddenly got the chance to kind of play it for the first time, that would make sense. But I don't really understand the hype too much. Like I said, it's yeah, I can't imagine there was like a huge demand for it. But maybe that's just me, maybe I'm completely getting things wrong. However, there are definitely other remakes, that like Mario vs DK, which was a Game Boy Advance game, I think. The first 3 Tomb Raiders, and then a Contra kind of remake. It just feels like, did anyone ask for those? I don't get the feeling that they did, to be honest. Again, I could be completely just reading the room wrong, you know. Maybe people did desperately want these kind of games, but I don't know, it feels like kind of filler. Obviously there's the Mario game, the new one that's coming out, the Mario Wonder, and yeah, I've already mentioned that I don't like the style of graphics when it comes to those particular Mario games. That is definitely just a kind of me only problem. But I don't know, there's just something about it graphically that I really am not into. But they did have a few, obviously, new games that they have announced. So there was a Spy Family game, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, obviously very cute, the art style is just very eye-pleasing. But it definitely feels like a quite casual type game. Like, it's very vague in, like, what the kind of objective of the game is. You make a kind of photo diary of, like, Anya's, I guess, like, summer vacation or something like that. You go around school, you get to play around with your family, go to the beach and things like that. Yeah, it all just seems very kind of vague. There was a Princess Peach game, which I like the kind of concept. The idea that you actually play as Peach makes it different from the usual kind of, you know, obviously she's been kidnapped by the evil turtle thing, being Bowser. You've got to go save her because, you know, she's the damsel in distress and you're the super powered plumberman. So yeah, it's nice that you actually get to play as Peach. And the art style, again, is pretty nice. It's very kind of Paper Mario reminiscent. It's kind of almost as if it is this stage and everything's kind of this play. So there's a lot of kind of almost like set designs and things. And it's just, again, really kind of eye-pleasing. To be honest, I will talk about Paper Mario a little bit later because that did get announced, which was kind of a surprise. But yeah, the Peach game, again, it looks really kind of interesting. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm sure it would be fun if you did actually go and pick it up yourself. There's another Detective Pikachu game, and I think that's obviously been in the works for a while. That I'm pretty sure got announced by not just this particular Nintendo Direct, but a little while ago. I haven't actually played any of the the previous Detective Pikachu game. I didn't see the movie. It supposedly was meant to be really good, but yeah, it's just something that like I've not really been that bothered about, must admit. It's a shame because I like Pokemon. I kind of am happy to see any kind of like spin-off when it comes to Pokemon games. I like that they try kind of, I guess, different directions. It's not just the same thing over and over again. It's just something that I've never really picked up for one reason or another. I guess I've just been too kind of busy with my various other kind of hobbies, obviously Animal Crossing. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do in my day, so I can't pick up every single game. It's just unfortunate, but you know, life gets in the way, right? They had F-Zero 99 was announced, which I loved F-Zero as a kid. Like, it was obviously for the SNES. Like, I love the GameCube F-Zero game. I think they should really kind of focus on F-Zero a lot more as a franchise. I just don't really understand why they've released it now. It's like, again, it kind of really definitely feels like, to me certainly, it's kind of a like try and get as much attention and get as much kind of money as we can before we essentially say there's a new console and the focus on the Switch is suddenly kind of gone. Because in my opinion, it would have made sense to kind of, I guess, release the if you're going to do the F-Zero 99, why didn't you release it at the same kind of time that you did the Tetris 99? You know, within like a few months, maybe even a year of doing that. Kind of really focus on those kind of games. You could then do like 2 or 3 where it's all kind of like high, like, you know, high chaos, high octane kind of fun, where you're obviously competing with almost 100 players. And yeah, it's something that you can pick up really quickly, put down really quickly. You have like 5-10 minutes of fun. It's all good. It just, again, feels really kind of weird timing, in my opinion. They did release, or they've announced the WarioWare, which was always going to happen. I'm pretty sure they've announced it at, again, kind of earlier in the year. It's a really kind of fun kind of concept, obviously. Lots of mini games, generally very kind of good for party kind of games, things like that. Obviously, you get a group of friends, you put that on, everyone has a good time. It just, I don't know. Again, it kind of feels like the wrong time to release something like that, in my opinion. I like, you know, it's one of those kind of games that it's unfortunate, but like at the time you're playing it, it's obviously tremendous fun. You have a good laugh with like everyone you're playing, even if you're doing it one player, you know, everything's kind of cool. However, once you kind of get past that initial like, I guess, the novelty of playing it, it's quickly forgotten. I'm just going to go grab some more items, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm back. But yeah, as I was saying, I guess the issue I have is just the kind of longevity of WarioWare games. Like, like I said, they're really fun, but once you kind of put them down, you kind of quickly forget about them. It's just... it's a shame, but that's kind of what happens. So, you know. Like, as far as, obviously, like, DLCs and things, you've got Splatoon 3 DLC, obviously Mario Kart 8 DLC. They was announced, obviously, forever ago. They were obviously going to come out, so... yeah, it's not really a surprise that they're being announced. Eastwood DLC, to be honest, I've never heard of Eastwood. Like, that could just be me being completely out of touch with modern releases and things like that. But it kind of looks like a fun game, like almost Stardew Valley-esque when I've seen it, a little bit of it. But not really something I'm going to pick up. And there was, I think, an Among Us DLC, which... I don't know, are people still playing Among Us? It seemed like it was really hot like a few years ago, and then just kind of went away. Maybe it's just the excuse me. Maybe it's just the kind of people that I were watching on YouTube that were playing it, and then suddenly they all kind of, you know, put it down. I don't know. Does anyone here still kind of play Among Us? I guess let me know, but it just feels like it's a game that kind of... it had its hype like a little while ago, and it's mostly gone. But, you know, I could be wrong about that. Oh, another remake I actually forgot to mention was Luigi's Mansion 2, which I'm pretty sure was a 3DS game. Now, again, it's kind of one of those things, kind of like Tomb Raider, kind of like Contra. It's like, did people ask for this? Is this something that people really wanted? Like, are the Luigi's Mansion's fans adamant that they got a remake of Luigi's Mansion 2? I don't know, again, it just feels kind of strange. It feels like, kind of cements that kind of feeling that a new console's going to be coming out. Because yeah, who really asked for that? However, Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door, that was a GameCube game, now people have definitely asked for that. I mean, to be honest, it kind of surprised me. I've already mentioned that. Now, I did kind of find it strange though. Like, I played the GameCube version, and I love it. I actually have played it fairly recently, like within the last year or so. And the graphics look fine. Like, it still holds up. It's a really beautiful kind of like game. I'm really struggling to put a wave breaker down, so excuse me. Okay, I guess it's living there, not in between those two rocks like I wanted it to. But anyway, it was really kind of beautifully designed game. Did it necessarily need a remake or any kind of reboot? And not gonna lie, I actually had to see a kind of side-by-side comparison of the two before I noticed that there was even a graphical upgrade, like, you know, of any kind of significance really, I guess. You could tell it was obviously upgraded, but I didn't think by like particularly that much. However, the side-by-side comparison does kind of show that yes, okay, there is a fair bit of kind of graphical upgrade, but I always thought it was going to be difficult to kind of really make that much of an impression, considering they've gone for obviously the arts and crafts kind of look with Paper Mario, and everything's very kind of polygonal because it's made to look like it's out of paper. It's made out of cardboard, things like that. So, could you really put that much of a improvement on it? I don't know. It's me being very nitpicky. Just gonna grab some more flowers, so be right back. Okay, so obviously I've been very focused on talking about the Nintendo Direct and my opinions on it. Naturally, I've put a few trees around here just to kind of fill out this space. I would like to just plant a few flowers around, just obviously give that kind of nice splash of colour. Nice bit of kind of luminosity with the various bits of glowing moss, and obviously a few weeds. As you could probably tell by what I was doing here, I've put like a small kind of courtyard using some of the kind of jungle bricks that I have used previously. Put down a bistro table, a nice wooden chair, and then a few plant petitions. I really want this area to kind of feel like a little kind of hidden away area that the Able sisters have made into their own, despite the fact it's obviously on the cusp of the jungle. I'm also going to put like a small kind of area with decking on the front beach here, which, you know, I guess I'll start that now. I'll put down a couple of yachts and things like that. But I would like to add a few more kind of flowers here and there. Yeah. I am kind of interested to see, I guess, what happens regarding this, I guess, new console kind of rumour. Like, it'll be interesting to see how much they're kind of looking for as far as a new console is concerned. I put down the wrong part of the planks, so my bad. But yeah, it makes me wonder what the kind of, I guess, if there is obviously this new console that's going to be coming out, what are going to be the release titles for it? Because obviously they've just released the Tears of the Kingdom, so the new Zelda game, and Legend of Zelda generally tends to be the game, you know, it tends to be I can't speak today. Tends to be their release title. So what are they going to do? Unless they've had a new Legend of Zelda game completely secretly in development, which, you know, could be a thing. It's very common that you'd have like teams working on like essentially the same kind of franchise, but not the same game, if you know what I mean. So obviously different games. So it could be a thing. I think there's not really been enough time between Tears of the Kingdom and then potentially a new Zelda game. So where does that kind of leave the new console? Because frankly, the only console I can think of that Nintendo released that didn't have a Legend of Zelda as a kind of release title was the Wii U. And frankly, that was just a kind of mess of a console, to be honest. Nobody really knew what was going on with it. Certainly nobody I really knew picked one up. Everyone just kind of thought it was almost like, it was like a console DLC like for the Wii, which obviously the Wii popularity exploded, so it was never going to kind of match up with that hype. But everyone was just kind of confused by its existence, and so naturally no one kind of went and grabbed one, to be honest. I'm going to put a yacht here, even though it actually kind of makes no sense because of that wave breaker, but it's mostly decoration. So there we go. Help if it was in the right way. And I'm going to put one probably over here as well. Fabulous. I should put a little bit of that decking just down there, so that kind of continues. Nice. I should put something in the middle here, but I'm not quite sure what that is. Just kind of stalling. But yeah, back on track, I suppose. When it comes to like the new console, I kind of get the feeling that they're going to release the Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Bros. Yeah, almost like an ultimate kind of version. So obviously you've got all the new DLC. When the Switch came out originally, I'm pretty sure Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Was released as a kind of like ultimate version. But then they've obviously added so many different kind of DLCs since. It would just make sense that they would re-release that. Maybe they'll release a Pokemon game as a release title, because obviously it would have been a little while they've released the DLCs for Pokemon. But there hasn't been a new game kind of announced, so maybe it'll be like an Arceus type game. I mean, I think that could be kind of cool. Like if you had an Arceus type game, but it was based around Kanto, because people seem to love the Kanto kind of region. Obviously the original 150. Pokemon Red, Fire Red, Leaf Green, obviously Pokemon Go, kind of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. People love revisiting that kind of game. So, yeah, I think that would make sense. Whether or not, obviously, kind of Game Freak and Nintendo are intended to do something like that, well, remains to be seen. Definitely just kind of makes me wonder, you know, where Nintendo's going to go. Okay, I'm going to just have a quick jump cut because I want to decide what I want to do with this small area of the beach and what I want to do with the rest of this decking, and obviously the small area of the courtyard because it looks a little bit bare at the moment, so bear with me and I will jump cut to when I've got something sorted.
6.5 hours later.
Okay guys, so I guess I'm back. As you can see, I've placed a few items down here. So the leaf umbrella there, I've put a log bench, tiki torch and a few wheat fields just as we obviously move on here. I've actually put the courtyard kind of tiles underneath the castle gate. I've then put a few items around here, so the barrel, the bamboo shoot lamp, the party arch, and I did the couple of stairs tiles here. See, there's a few weeds, a few plants on the beach, and I've then dyed a few bits of seaweed, and I've put the I forget its name. Is it Senzuke barrel? I really cannot remember its name. But yeah, I've put a few kind of items around here. I'm sorry if this episode is a little bit kind of scatty. Usually I have things a little bit more kind of planned out. But today, like I said, it's quite a small area, so I've just been focused on kind of talking, to be honest, which, yeah, has thrown me a little bit because, like I said, usually there's a lot more planning. I just kind of focus on the actual design of the island, and then I do the kind of talking afterwards because I generally do a speed build kind of style, so obviously a little bit of a kind of talk over in the end. My idea for this kind of small area of grass patch, I guess I'll have a small kind of pond roughly where I'm digging now. I'm going to have this mostly become a cliff. I previously moved Freya's house around here so that she could kind of be close to the Able Sisters. And I guess I'm going to leave the majority of this beach kind of alone for now, because I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. I'm probably going to just plant a few kind of more coconut trees, do the kind of mossy path that I've got the design for, and then just place various kind of items, try and make it feel a little bit more kind of like Freya's house, and like it's her kind of space, while at the same time obviously really trying to design the beach. Because, not gonna lie, most of my islands, generally this has been very kind of like design heavy, but I leave the beaches alone. I've made a real kind of effort this time to actually incorporate some of the beaches into my designs. I just wanted to kind of like go a little bit out of my kind of comfort zone, you know. So I am trying. You'll have to let me know, I guess, if you think I'm succeeding when it comes to my beach designs and things like that, if it actually feels part of the world. Let's jump into the cliff construction and get started on this. I might do a quick kind of speed up of this because obviously there is a lot of cliff that I want to fill in, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're obviously back. I wanted this kind of area to just have a small kind of pond, obviously a few waterfalls I wanted this cliff to be kind of well decorated with trees and a few various items, like lots of stone, lots of kind of obviously wood, like things like log stakes, things like that. It's basically just a background to where Freya's house is going to be. And obviously just kind of build a little bit more of the jungle world and a little bit kind of the lore. So obviously we've got Filbert's house with the UFO build kind of up here. So I want it to be mysterious, but obviously not quite as mysterious as that. I've had to leave obviously space regarding the trees, because obviously you can't build cliffs or add water too close to trees. And something I wanted to address, I haven't kind of built or put down a lot of items around here, because naturally when the tailors actually goes up, it's going to block a lot of the view. So I guess I will grab some items and some trees and things like that, and we'll get started on the top of this cliff. Oops. So naturally I would like to place a load of these vines around. I love this vine item. Obviously it means that you don't have to necessarily walk around with your ladder all the time. Obviously you do have the new ladder kind of startup kits as well, which is really kind of a handy item. Again, it just kind of gives you a little bit more kind of inventory space if you so need it. But look how just useful that is. Such a good kind of addition to the game. But yeah, I'm just going to, I guess, plant a load of trees and bushes and things. Just kind of make this area feel a little bit more alive. By the way, I would like to say a absolutely massive thank you to anyone that has subscribed recently. To be honest, anyone that's subscribed at all. I really appreciate the fact that, you know, you're supporting me, you're giving me the time of day. It just means a lot to me, guys, so really thank you so much. As for future plans, I guess my next video I'm going to be doing a species roulette kind of villager hunt. I'm going to be doing it with a small twist, so nothing too out of the out of left field, nothing kind of completely wacky, but I want to make it slightly different from the one I did last time. So that's going to be my plan. So obviously, if you haven't subscribed already, shameful plug I guess, if you would like to see the species roulette, by all means, then please subscribe, and obviously I'll have a video out as soon as I can. I realised that I didn't pick up a coconut tree, a palm tree, so that's kind of irritating, but there you go. Like I said, this build is definitely a lot more kind of scatty. I've not planned necessarily as much as I generally do, so I'm kind of forgetting things quite a bit. But like I said, it's meant to be a bit more of a kind of chill episode. It's kind of fun just doing it every now and again, you know? Just no real plan, just kind of jumping in and seeing what happens. Right, I would like some kind of item here. So, have we got the Titan around? Aram? How do you pronounce that? I'm not sure. Let's just spin it around. Fabulous. There will be a palm tree kind of placed here, obviously in the hole. So I'm going to leave that be. I have got a Stonehenge item somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Is it going to be the top corner? No. This is proof, guys, that I have no real plan, obviously, like I said. I know I definitely got the item out, and it's probably on the side waiting for me to pick it up, and I just haven't, because I'm a fool. Okay, I guess I will continue with the items and the things that I actually do have. So, there you go. I guess I'll put down a small kind of fence around here. I have had a transparent kind of design, because weeds and obviously flowers kind of repopulate. I want to say regenerate, but that's definitely not the word. So, especially when it rains, obviously weeds and flowers kind of go a bit kind of crazy. And to be honest, you don't really want that when you've got such a busy island doing a jungle kind of theme. You don't want flowers and weeds to go completely out of control. Otherwise, it's just going to, you know, go crazy and then it will lag the game out. Right, bear with me. I'm going to grab the Stonehenge item, I'm going to grab a coconut tree, and then I'm going to finish off this small kind of area. So, jump cut, I guess. Okay, so I definitely have the coconut tree there. Fabulous. That's right. That's one of the silly things out of the way. I'm just going to plant a weed kind of here, and then probably a bush next to it. That'll kind of stop any like spreading of weeds and flowers. Pink azalea, because why not? I want to put a Stonehenge item in this kind of area. I know I definitely have it. Will it fit? That's now the pressing concern. I know it's a big item, but come on, surely you fit in there somewhere. There we go. Wow, that's... I actually thought it was a little bit smaller than that, not gonna lie. That's like a, what, 3x3? I guess we'll spin it like that, because that like makes a bit more sense. And there's a balloon off in the distance. Okay, just gonna have a quick look there. Okay, grand. So like I said, there's a little bit of mystery. This Stonehenge, obviously, it's like, what is this monument meant to be in the middle of the jungle? It's right next to the beach. It's just kind of a backdrop, like I said, for Freya's house. This part of the beach I think I'm going to do off camera, because I really have no idea. And to be honest, this episode's been a bit scatty as it is. So I will just kind of finish up this little area around the kind of cliff. Just make sure that you can't necessarily walk too much around here. And then I'll have a quick kind of reveal once the Able Sisters has actually gone up. And I'll showcase it all off. Okay, so I've skipped to the next day, so the Able Sisters should have moved into their rightful place now. So, there we are. So obviously I've filled out a few of the areas like I mentioned. Okay, so I just need to add a little bit of kind of more courtyard there. But to be honest, this is kind of the general feel. I've added a few things, so instead of the Msgjjmbb barrel, I've added the party arch fence lights. That's probably the right word. The fish drying rack, obviously I've chosen the squid one. I put a few things down like the wheat and just another barrel. And then around this area obviously a bit more flowers, a bit more kind of weeds, another tiki torch. And I have also blocked off this way with a little moss kind of stone. So you can't just necessarily go back here. You can still access it, obviously climb up if you so wish, but you can't from the beach side. So yeah, that's kind of my build. I'm just going to kind of neaten this up, but I'll do that off camera. So yeah guys, thank you very much if you watched this far. Again, I'm sorry that it's been a bit scatty, a little bit kind of chaotic. It's not quite the kind of planned video that I generally do when it comes to builds. But there you go, it's a little bit different and a lot more, I guess, talky. But hey, that's kind of fun every now and again, right? So again, thank you very much if you watched this far. Obviously, if you like the video, please hit like. Consider subscribing if you haven't done already. And if you'd like to see the Species Roulette Villager Hunt, again, subscribe. So, with that being said, thank you very much guys. Cheers, and have a good one. See you next time.